on YouTube. What's up, y'all? Yeah, I was about to do the bike ride, but I'm about to talk. What's up, y'all? I should have been charging this too. Good morning, good morning. Heck yeah. Nah, but I was yeah, Miss Jackie well like on really Fridays, but Saturdays, really Fridays and Saturdays. I kinda really be kinda rest. Because I be playing the drums. But sometimes I still be working out on Saturdays, but I try not to work out on Saturdays because I need my arms for me to play the drums tomorrow. You get where I'm coming from? I'm the only drummer, so I can't be playing the drums stiff as hell. So that's why I really don't work out on Saturdays. Really, I don't supposed to work out on Fridays and Saturdays, y'all. Just because I'm a drummer, y'all. I need my arms. Like that's my job. You get where I'm coming from? Yes, exercise comes first. Yeah, you want to beat my arms up, y'all. Actually, I just did 25 push-ups. I wanted to see can I do push-ups. It was kind of easy. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. I'm not about to talk about the lottery. Oh yeah, Miss them declines. Heck yeah, Miss Jackie. I appreciate my boy Brian. What up, Brian? Somebody say, "Are you the Fed?" Hey y'all. Good morning, everybody, y'all. I thought I saw my boy Brian in here. I thought I saw Brian in here. One of my calisthenics brother, y'all. If he's still in here, y'all can click on this name, y'all. Oh yeah, there he. Nah, I see cocaine too. No, I see him right here. You got Bryant. Come on, y'all. We all know the routine, y'all. You have Bryant in here, and you have cocaine, y'all. Both of my calisthenics bros, y'all. All y'all have to do is click on their name and hit subscribe, y'all. It's free of charge, y'all. Heck yeah, free of charge. You got cocaine, my friends, and you have Bryant. All y'all have to do is click on their name, go to the channel, and hit subscribe. Good morning, everybody, y'all. So a lot of y'all know I have studied a language called Gematria, and that's what the governor that's what they use on us, y'all, in the world. Man, I'm about to get you off my video. Put you in timeout, my ninja. Y'all trolls come wake up in the morning and just be like, man, we about to go troll some pages. That's bad as hell, bro. y'all get on the internet and just be trolling people videos. But it's cool because y'all giving me watch time for hours. But still, that's sad. The trolls come on, but it's not sad because I'm finna tell y'all this: the trolls are one doing what y'all supposed to be doing. Like, comment, and share. Especially like and comment. So we know the trolls not gonna like, but they gonna do a whole bunch of commenting. So they still helping us, and then they watching us. Y'all get where I'm coming from? They come watching us. Hell yeah. But yeah, this is what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Y'all know that I studied a language called Gematria. So when I was watching those videos yesterday, it kind of brought back memories for me. Hey, y'all, don't y'all remember I was talking about some handshakes? Y'all remember that? My boy Padam. What up, Padam? Flawless work, Padam. He not on his regular channel, y'all. Y'all can go tune in on Padam channel, but his channel name is not Padam. What's the name of your channel, bro? You could post your channel up because he have a couple of pages. Yeah, flawless work, Padam. Padam in India, y'all. So right now, Padam, it should be it's morning here, so it should be nighttime there. Yeah, my boy Padam from India, y'all. Hey, y'all see the name of his channel was Fitness Grade, y'all. The name of his channel was Fitness Grade. I'm gonna go to my teacher in a minute. Damn, I thought I screenshot that, my friend. Hold on. So I talked about this. Look at this, y'all. I talked about this on the 7th. Y'all remember this? Y'all, I talked about this August the 7th. Y'all remember this? Everybody remember this? Y'all remember this? I was talking about the handshakes. Oh, okay. It's 7 o'clock. It's evening right now. Okay. That's what's up. Y'all remember I was talking about the handshakes? Y'all remember this? It was so crazy when I was watching my teacher video. I told you I went to my teacher page, y'all. After we start, like, look at this, y'all. Y'all know both of them passed away. Y'all, they were speaking in code, y'all. They died by the numbers. Like we all played the lottery. We betted on their death. I mean, it was already in the makings in the book, but this was rigged, y'all. Y'all see this? What's her name? Danielle Spencer. Look.
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community. The stocks I share are also free. The techniques and
See, this will level on, y'all.
Seeker. Today, August 15th, 2025, the top story.
Man, I hope they don't.
Is the Trump and Putin summit in
Man, I hope they don't mess with my page, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
Another big story is the first hurricane in the Atlantic of the year. We'll come back to that. It is the 73rd anniversary of the first admittance of weather warfare today. But I want to start real simple. A lot of the media is showing this same image of Trump and Putin shaking hands. And if you look carefully at a bigger picture here, which I use for the thumbnail, you might notice that you've probably never shaked anyone's hand like that in your lifetime. I mean, if you have, you might be in a certain fraternal order. And you can actually learn about that exact specific handshake.
Y'all see this?
BBC Radio.
We're not talking about this last week, y'all, about the handshakes. We're not talking about this last week. I'm telling y'all, man, we live in a deep ass world. Y'all have to wake up, man. Y'all have to learn Gematria, y'all. Gematria is a must, y'all. I'm telling y'all this. Gematria is a must, y'all. Everybody have to learn it, my friend. I'm not going to say it's too late. This is a must, y'all. Everybody need to learn gematria, my friends.
Or broadcast. This is from 2018. The title is the Freemason Handshake Really a Secret? And if you take a good look at that thumbnail, that is the same shake that Trump and Putin are doing today. And remember, for years, Trump, before he became president, he was seen as an authority figure largely through his hit show on NBC, The Apprentice. And of course, the first degree of Freemasonry is the honored apprentice. And of course, Freemasonry is largely what's responsible for the United States of America. And if you don't know anything about Freemasonry, you should look into it. You should look into the founding of the nation, the founders that were Masons, how D.C., Washington, D.C.
Hell yeah,
is known as
Padam.
the Masonic
Yes,
city.
Padam.
And what makes things even more interesting is today, the day they meet, the day of this handshake between Putin and Trump.
And I apologize, y'all. Before I start, listen to the lottery numbers, y'all. Listen to the numbers they was calling out. That's why they was traveling, y'all. I want y'all to hear and see all this, my friends.
The day in the majority of the world is written 15/8 for the 15th day of the 8th month, the 15th of August, and it was 158 years ago.
Y'all hear this?
That Russia sold Alaska to the United States.
So y'all, look, was 158 and 148, was they traveling, y'all? We talked about that number yesterday, right? Before we watched this video. 148 and 158 was kind of traveling, right? Everybody follow me so far. What's up, Miss Helen? Y'all hear the numbers? Everything was going on. The lottery is predicting that shit, y'all. The numbers is telling the story. Y'all looking at lotteries because they telling us we can win money. They are speaking in code, y'all. Every state just about have a lottery, y'all. Are y'all following me? I told y'all that's why I can't play the lottery, my friends. I know what's really going on with the lottery, y'all. It's deeper than that. What it is, they told y'all we can win money, and they involve money to it to make it look different, y'all. We down by the numbers, y'all.
And that becomes all the more interesting when you learn Gematria. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. A component of Kabbalah is Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. And there are 4 base ciphers of the English language, the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Freemasonry literally equates to 158.
Wow.
And there are 4 base ciphers of the English language, the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. Remember, this 58 number, which is also connected to Freemasonry, has been huge with Trump. He announced from the 58-story Trump Tower when he went on to win the 58th election, and there were a whole lot of 58 things that happened. And right of that, this time around, he wins the election with 58%
It's
of
just,
the
that's
electoral
propaganda
college,
news
so
up or down.
we're told. But yeah, just really simple thing to understand.
That's
the
propaganda
Masonic
news.
handshake done by these 2 world leaders who represent nations with red, white, and blue flags. And if you look into the Masons, there is something to that color scheme in Masonry as well.
Oh my goodness. 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 I'm taking your word. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna take your word. Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my good. Thank you, Miss Jackie. I for real, Miss Jackie. Appreciate you. And then look at the fireball, 187. These numbers represent kill. Thank you, Miss Jackie. Miss Jackie, thank you. This go along with this video. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Miss Jackie. I appreciate you, Miss Jackie.
Color scheme in Masonry as well. But it's also a reminder JFK, once upon a time before his assassination in Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas, a plaza named after a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason who made his name in the newspaper business. It's a reminder that a couple of years prior to JFK's assassination, he gave that speech about secrecy, talking about the problem with secrecy in the United States. And he gave that speech to the Newspaper Publishers Association, only to end up being assassinated in a plaza named after a Freemason. Freemasonry is a secret society. A Freemason who made his name again in the newspaper.
This is what Ivy League universities do.
Hell no, Padam. All money not good money. And then my life more important though. Like my teacher, he flawless, but I don't really speak on Gematria like that too much, like how he doing it.
And what has yours truly been doing?
Then a lot of people don't really be paying attention.
Showing how
you risking your life. You let your enemies know you know all that shit.
Right in front of everybody's face, but they expect people not to notice because they're not in these secret societies for the most part.
I'd rather teach y'all this instead of the lottery.
They don't know the Masonic handshake. You know, they look at this rope like, oh, they're shaking hands.
Y'all hear that?
More carefully, and you're like, wait a minute. I never shook anybody's hand like that. Almost all of us just like, right here, boom, you know. Shake hands, not on top with his fingers out this way, your fingers up underneath. No, this is how Masons shake hands. And why would it be any shock to you that the leader of this land would be part of this secret society when almost everyone who's ever occupied the office or been in a high position in that city is part of this secret society? A city that is literally named after that secret society. DC is nicknamed the Masonic City.
Detroit City.
After the Freemason George Washington.
It was DC at first.
And the reason this stuff needs to sink in deeper than it does with most people's brains is because we live in a society where you point out how all this nefarious
everything for Dom. We connected with them too.
Like, well, you think if they
we connected with them for Dom. We connected.
How much do you know about what goes on in these lodges and amongst these secret society types? Why do you think the President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, was talking about the problem with secrecy in the United States of America? And then people act like secrets can't be kept. Is it true or not? Did you not go through 13 years of slave school, pledging to 13 stripes, never for a day thinking about number rituals, even though you were doing that?
You hear this?
And through all the textbooks you had to read through and the assignments you had to do and history reports, did the Masons ever even come up a single time? Not my public school education.
Mine neither.
As a student and as a teacher, there was never a lesson plan I was given where I was to teach my classroom about the history of secret societies and Freemasonry.
Nope. They didn't teach us this.
This stuff is just hiding.
They hid it from us. They talk, like y'all look, not to keep stopping, but they try to tell y'all it's books of the Bible missing. Our enemies created the Bible, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So people be like, man, the books of the Bible missing. This is important, y'all. That's why I say they put a bunch of propaganda news out to mislead people, to get y'all off the real shit, y'all. I'm telling y'all what's important. Y'all think I'm amazing with these numbers. No, I studied this language of Gematria, y'all. What our enemies using on us, I learned they shit. And I'm using it against their ass, y'all. I'm telling y'all what I know, my friends.
And again, the ritualism. Masonry is based in rituals. All of this stuff is ritualism. Meeting in Alaska on the Jesuit order's birthday, when the Jesuits are largely responsible for modern Freemasonry.
Don't Jesuit remind you of Jesus? Come on, y'all. Come on, talk to me, y'all. See, I told you I do a lot of wordplay, y'all, because they switched the word. Don't Jesuit remind you of a so-called Jesus, y'all? The wordplay. I told you when y'all turn God around and the devil around, that shit is real, y'all. They playing with y'all. It's the reason why they created that word, the pig Latin. I'm telling y'all, my friends, turn those words around. Y'all don't get it though. Why? Because y'all are brainwashed, y'all. Y'all believe in some shit that don't exist, y'all. I told y'all there's no such thing as heaven and hell. If they lied about a heaven and hell, what else did they lie about? What is connected with heaven and hell, y'all? Y'all better wake up. That's why so much confusion with the Bible, y'all. Y'all better wake up. That's why so much confusion with the churches, y'all.
Doing a Masonic handshake on 15/8, 158 years after these nations exchanged land. Here, let's go through the rest of this and see what it looks like when you know Gematria.
Uh-oh. I love it.
I covered a bunch of this in the lead up.
Y'all hear this?
All this stuff up the top here, I've covered this in posts leading up to this.
This goes for you, Padon. When you know Gematria, you ain't gonna pay attention to what they talking about.
Steve Witkoff joined Donald Trump. Notice his birthday is March 15th. It can be written 15/3. He joins Donald Trump on the Jesuit order's birthday, 153 days after his own birthday. Jesuit orders 153. Again, Trump's also Jesuit educated. Went to a Jesuit high school and university. Jesuit order 153. Marco Rubio, who's 54 years old at the time, also joined. And remember, 54, you can argue out of the four base ciphers, is the most important number to the Jesuit order. And the reason it's most important is just look, their headquarters is at the address 54. If you look up the Jesuit headquarters, it's the Church of the Jesuit, spelled with a G, like the Masonic logo's a G. Church of the Jesuit, the address is 54. Again, the first Jesuit university in the U.S. was founded by 54-year-old John Carroll at the Jesuits' peak. They had 54 universities in the U.S. Today's meeting was in Anchorage, Alaska, which equates to 54.
COVID.
The formal title of the Jesuits is Society of Jesus. Today was 79 days after Rubio's birthday. And again, I'm just pointing out how they got all the right puppets in all the right places.
Y'all hear that?
All the pawns on all the right spots on the chessboard.
Y'all hear this?
Of course, Donald Trump's 79 right now. And in light of the first act of weather warfare being admitted to on this day, which was the Lynmouth flood, which killed a lot of people, one of the things buzzing is that Alaska is facing severe flooding today, as we get the first named hurricane today, but it's also on the Mendenhall River, which equates to 79. Again, also going with Trump being 79 years old. Remember, on the periodic table, the 79th element is gold, and Trump said we're in the golden era. There's a lot of gold up in Alaska.
Wow.
And of course, in 1979, gold quadrupled in value. Its greatest climb ever in history just happened to be in 79. If you don't think that was a ritual. Also look into when the gold standard was dropped on August 15th in history. Another story, really, but coming back to this. So Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff, who's a big real estate guy like Trump.
Why don't you own apartment buildings? Seriously,
somebody in the comments said, shut up and stop talking. He was kind of telling the truth. But the reason why I be kind of pausing, so I can like walk y'all through it as well. I know y'all can understand, but a lot y'all really don't understand. So I'm just
We're there for the meeting.
walking y'all through it.
Talking business. And of course,
What's up,
Russia
Miss Cheryl
wants the
Lamont?
Donbass region and other parts of Ukraine. So it is about real estate. So got real estate moguls there for the ritualism. And then I love this part too. Anchorage equals 72. Putin is 72 years old. Of course, Jesuit order equals 72, as does President Trump. And when Alaska when Russia sold Alaska to the United States, it sold for $7.2 million. Talk about inflation. You think you can get Alaska for $7.2 million? A waterfront house in Alaska probably cost $7.2 million at today's day and age. Back then, you could get the whole state. But yeah, just if you're new here, things to know. 54. The word sun, S-U-N, equals 54. The Jesuit order's logo is the sun. They serve the Pope. The Catholic Church began as a sun-worshipping religion, and really it still is. They just invented the story of the Son of God, and a lot of people can't see that.
Wow, the Son of God. Wow, that's deep, y'all. Oh, that's
analogy, which is a major.
That's deep.
Must be, again, also going. Today was 79 days after Rubio's
Oh, that was
birthday.
deep.
And again, I'm just pointing out how they got all the right puppets in all the right places. All the pawns on all the right spots on the chessboard. Of course, Donald Trump's 79 right now. And in light of the first act of weather warfare being admitted to on this day, which was the Lynmouth flood, which killed a lot of people, one of the things buzzing is that Alaska is facing severe flooding today, as we get the first named hurricane today, but it's also on the Mendenhall River, which equates to 79. Again, also going with Trump being 79 years old. Remember, on the periodic table, the 79th element is gold, and Trump said we're in the golden era. There's a lot of gold up in Alaska. And of course, in 1979, gold quadrupled in value. Its greatest climb ever in history just happened to be in 79. If you don't think that was a ritual. Also look into when the gold standard was dropped on August 15th in history. Another story, really, but coming back to this, so Marco Rubio and Steve Witkoff, who's a big real estate guy like Trump, were there for the meeting. So they must be talking business. And of course, Russia wants the Donbass region and other parts of Ukraine, so it is about real estate. So got real estate moguls there for the ritualism. And then I love this part too. Anchorage equals 72. Putin is 72 years old. Of course, Jesuit order equals 72, as does President Trump. And when when Russia sold Alaska to the United States, it sold for $7.2 million. Talk about inflation. You think you could get Alaska for $7.2 million? A waterfront house in Alaska probably cost $7.2 million at today's day and age. Back then, you could get the whole state. But yeah, just if you're new here, things to know. 54. The word sun, S-U-N, equals 54. The Jesuit order's logo is the sun. They served the Pope. The Catholic Church began as a sun-worshipping religion, and really it still is. They just invented the story of the Son of God, and a lot of people can't see that obvious analogy, which is a major problem with society, as they have you worship on Sunday. All thanks to the Catholic Church. Whatever happened to the Sabbath day? And please don't give me some obscure verse in the Bible that you know because of the Catholic Church.
I gotta send this to abundance.
It's always been Saturday.
I gotta send this to
The sun
abundance.
worshippers moved your day of worship to Sunday. And you guys can't see the
Sunday.
obvious. Admit it.
Man, y'all better wake up.
You're easily controlled and swayed by authority.
Oh,
It's
my
amazing how many
goodness.
supposed truth seekers can't see through religion, which is the rock bottom of the foundation that the authorities gave us to control us.
Oh my
To control
goodness.
our minds, our behaviors, to make us into little sheep, to make us believe very obvious lies,
Y'all
to
hear
make us
this?
not see through the most obvious lies, and then you see how it translates. Like, yeah, you can't see through that, and then the next thing you know, you can't see through the obvious lies the government feeds you every day, and then you don't notice that
Oh,
the
my
only thing that doesn't
goodness.
have to pay taxes are the churches, and you can't figure out how this whole game works. Remember when Tucker Carlson went over there with his little Kabbalah bracelet on to interview Putin? Putin said, do you mind if I start briefly with the history of how this all happened? And then it wasn't a brief history. It was about 30-some minutes of explanation of the history of the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church, and how that got us all to where we are today. Again, the Jesuits served the Catholic Church. The only reason today is even considered August 15th, 2025 is because of who? That's right, the Jesuit priest Christopher Clavius, who gave us the calendar. And again, I mean, why didn't we learn that in school? How come in our 13 years of slave school they didn't teach us where the calendar came from? I don't remember ever learning once where the calendar came from. Like, do we learn anything that matters? Do we learn anything about nutrition, how to be smart financially, any real skills, or do we just learn a bunch of bunk history that leaves out all the real meaty nuggets? Anyway.
I emphasize again. it
Damn,
is free
teacher,
to
man,
join
I
my
ain't
community.
listened to
The
like
stocks
last night I
share
was
are
listening
also
to
free.
him. Damn,
The techniques
teacher
and
still
strategies I
flawless,
teach are also
y'all.
free. So
Damn,
please don't
for
ask
me
if I charge a
learning,
fee.
knowing just
Don't say it's a
Gematria,
scam.
I can see
I only need
everything
popularity
what's
and
going
word
on,
of
y'all.
mouth, not
That's
the
what's so
so-called membership
crazy.
fee. If you want to
That's
get
what
the
I'm saying.
stocks I
What
offer,
teaching,
please join
explaining,
me
it
first.
just
Make
really
sure it
just
fits your
open it.
own
That's why I say
ideas
when
and
the
then
preacher
buy a
be
little to
preaching,
go.
y'all,
I only have
I
one
go to
account.
church. I
Never
can get,
charge any fees. I
no matter if
emphasize
they
again,
speaking
it is
wrong,
free to
I
join
know
my
what I'm
community.
getting from
The
that,
stocks I
y'all.
share are also free. The techniques and strategies I teach are also free. So please don't ask me if I charge a fee.
This
or say
crazy,
it's a
y'all.
scam. I only need
Damn, my
American
teacher
word of
flawless,
mouth.
bro. I'm just looking at it and I'm still amazed at his work, y'all.
Please join me first.
How he connected in. I just screenshotted something because 144 was in it. That represents Jesuit. That's why everybody was getting, not everybody, but that's why 144 was floating in the lottery. 44 represent Mason, y'all, a slave, y'all. I been was telling y'all about that, my friend. This shit deep, y'all. And what Abundant was talking about the church, that's why I told y'all when y'all be saying y'all go outside and y'all be getting like the vitamin D from the sun. I'm not knocking that, y'all, but I know what's up there. I know that's a light bulb, y'all. It's not no sun. It's a light bulb. So when people say they get off the sun, I just let it be, y'all. I don't really say anything. You get where I'm coming from? That's a big light bulb, y'all. But they told us it's a sun. And all it is they control with the temperature. That big old light bulb, when you turn that joker up, that means it's gonna get hot as hell. When you turn that joker down, that's how I get wintertime, y'all. I promise y'all, I just can't prove that shit to y'all. Ain't no such thing, no sun and no moon. It's a reason for that shit up there, y'all. It's a big ass light.
Someone commented, does olive oil...
Nuggets. Anyway. These are what the 4 base ciphers look like. Jesuit order, 144 with the alphabetic order, 54 with numerology, 153 with reverse, 72 with reverse numerology. Keep in mind the United States of America is 144.
My boy Brian.
Huge number with the nation's history. JFK died 144
What up, Miss
days
Cheryl?
meeting with the Pope on 7-2. His brother supposedly died at 144 in the morning. When his brother's son got in the presidential race, we told you that day why it foreshadowed an assassination story likely for Trump, because he got in to the race on the date April 5th when he filed his paperwork, which can be written 5-4, 144 days after the Superior General's birthday. Not to mention Ambassador Hotel and Dealey Plaza both equal 54, obviously where RFK and JFK died. But again, just look at how this all came together. Obviously, they're meeting in the United States of America, what was once Russia. Again, they're meeting with 54-year-old
Peace out, Padon, for sure.
Marco, who used to call Trump Mr. Small Hands. And again, they're meeting 153 days after Witkoff's birthday. You see how this all just comes together just way too perfectly? But this is what goes on every single day. And they're meeting with 72-year-old Putin when once upon a time they sold the thing for $7.2 million in 72 land. Again, sun equals 54. I think I forgot to finish the point. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. And then 144 is a big time number because it's all about time. Square root of 144 is 12 hours in the morning and the evening, 12 months in the year. And the way that we've been given this calendar, there's 1,440 minutes in a day, 1440. The 153, I don't think really relates to time, but it does relate to Holy Bible and the miraculous catch of 153 fish. And of course, 144 is also a biblical number. So is 72. Jesus sends out 72 disciples. Read the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and read the 5-4 verses for each, and think about what's in those 5-4 verses, because I think that's where they get the 54 from. Wow. Just for the record, Vladimir Putin and the Jesuit order got this perfect overlap.
Yes, Miss Jackie.
Explaining how he's a total Jesuit puppet. Look at CNN. How when this happened, they got this story right. And if you've ever seen when the media's out shooting their photos, they really do use actors. There might be real people out there who are participating, but they use the actors to put out the photos. And I
told y'all
this in real time if anybody wants to go back and look at the Kroger shooting that happened on the 38th day of the year, a few years back in Washington State, where they blamed a 38-year-old for killing a 38-year-old again on the 38th day of the year. Of course, when death, murder, killing, and RIP all equal 38. But when I was out there documenting, I got a lot of important things in that video, including just showing you how the crisis actors work. You could see how the camera people would be there and they'd be telling the people what to do, like, oh, we want you to hug now, we want you to look sad, we want you to get in this pose. And I was sitting there watching and filming, and I said, hey, are you guys the crisis cast? And one guy got all mad, all huffy-puffy, look, whoa. It was just, I was like, what is this crap? And then later I got to talk to the commander. I'm sure what his name was. It was Chris something. Go back and look. but I got to talk to the guy who was being quoted in all
Yes.
the news stories for the shooting that day
Yes,
in the
Miss
news.
Jackie.
He was the one giving all the details.
I hear
And
you.
he admitted to me on camera. And by the way, that video is still on my BitChute channel because YouTube took it down right away, just like I've been deleted a million times on YouTube. But that video is still up on my
Told y'all.
BitChute. If you ever want to go watch it, go to BitChute, search for Zachary K. Hubbard, and look
Timothy.
for the Fred Meyer shooting in Tri-Cities, Washington. It's probably an hour and a half stream. If you want to fast forward to near the end, when I'm talking to the cop who's got the shades on up close near the end, listen to everything he says. He admits that even though he's the point person for the media and they're getting all the details from the story from him, he tells me, he says, I'm not allowed to go in there. I haven't been in there today. So I said, so how are you getting the information from the story? He said, it's being fed to me through my phone. I said, so who's in control of the situation? He said, the feds are. He said, we have to stay out here. So I said, look at that. The feds are in control of the situation.
Y'all hear this?
Local police can't even go in the store.
Wow.
Yet he's the one, Commander Chris, whatever it was, he's the one in all the news stories. And then what was hilarious that we found out is it seemed like who the lead guy was that was breaking all the details was actually a Jesuit educated person writing all the way from New York when we're all the way thousands of miles away on the opposite coast. For people who are outside the U.S., Washington, D.C. is the capital, not that far from New York, but Washington State, where I was, is about as far away from New York as you can be. And not to mention the team on the ground there for NBC. We found out the people on the ground there that were doing most of the reporting were the lead reporter there was also Jesuit educated. We said, look at this. We're seeing how this works in real time. We got the crisis cast here posing for the cameras. We got the police guy admitting to us that he has not seen a single thing with his own eyes and everything's being fed to him through his phone. You guys, everything we get is just so stage managed, so fake, and I guarantee you if I could replicate a billion of me and just be everywhere at once, I'd be showing this stuff going on. And that's the damn shame that not everyone's out doing the same thing in their own cities. We'd be proving this in spades every single day. Look, another crisis cast. Oh, here's another police guy admitting. See, that was the nice thing about that Commander Chris. He says, if you watch the video, he says, I respect what you're out here doing and I understand why you're doing it. Like, kind of like he can't admit it all the way, but he's saying, I get why you got all these questions, because I was saying to him, I was like, so how do you even know anything really even happened in there? And if you go back and look at what the outcome of that story was, and see, that was the beautiful thing about being there. If you were watching the news about that shooting, they're like reporting, the choppers are in the air looking for the shooter at this very moment. And then I get to the scene, the helicopter pilot's parked literally in the Fred Meyer parking lot. He's drinking coffee at the RV station they have set up there for the cops with the donuts and the coffee and all this crap. And supposedly there's a manhunt on the news of this guy. All the police and their mother in this small town are all in the parking lot. And then the story comes out early the next day that 11 hours later, it had to be 11, right? It's always 11 with this master number numerology. 11 hours later, the feds got him on the interstate. They got the supposed killer. And again, I mean, I feel like I should have got a Pulitzer Prize for all that documentation that day. I mean, just PSYOP 101 totally exposed. And of course, Google deletes your video and suspends you for a week. And that's exactly what happened for me going out and doing that. I had to drive 3 hours each way at the time. And
do you know what eating cucumber can do to your liver?
This my teacher, y'all.
I'm a doctor. And I had to drive 3 hours each way at the time. And or maybe it wasn't quite that far, but it was about 2 hours each way. And a lot of driving, 4 hour round trip and hard work and a lot of documentation. Then Google just takes your video down. Like, what are you trying to protect, Google? Oh, that's right. Google celebrates their birthday on the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. I still remember when Google did their mass layoffs and a big Jesuit ritual through email. Anyway, let me come back to this.
Y'all hear how deep
So
this
I'm
shit
telling you how
is?
this looks like the perfect crisis cast. So you have 3 signs that you can see here, right? 3 signs in their perfect story. Alaska stands with Ukraine. It's right in the middle, right? 153. We don't need to go over that again, do we? We don't need to go over the 153 in Jesuit order. And just for the record, the Illuminati equals 153, Bavaria equals 54. The Illuminati was founded by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt, in Bavaria. So 2 of the Jesuit numbers go directly with the Illuminati as well. And this other one, Zelensky should be here. Zelensky, an actor, should be here equals 94. Well, that's perfect because today's the 491st birthday of the Jesuits, which is the 94th prime. Roman Catholic Church equals 94. Who the Jesuits serve. Remember, 4 years ago, it was the 487th birthday, which is the 93rd prime in Afghanistan's the plus 93 international dialing code. And chaos broke out in Afghanistan as we evacuated.
Lottery number,
on
huh?
that day.
Lottery numbers.
On the Jesuit Order's birthday, which is
Lottery
also the
numbers,
anniversary of
y'all.
a lot of crazy things happening in the world. 5 years ago today was the day that Trump's brother died. From gold standard to, like I said, Japan surrendering in World War II, which was pretty much the end of World War II on the Jesuits' birthday. World War's totally by the numbers. Speaking of 11, never forget that World War I ended on 11/11 at the 11th hour. Doesn't sound numerological, all ones for World War I. 11 breaks down to 2, a signal of what was to come. The other sign you can see here just says Putin war criminal with a cross through Putin. Putin war criminal. Putin war criminal, 20184, like the Jesuit order. Like, we talk about these exact numbers all the time. Remember how it was the 94 virus after event 201 in the 94 city? Seattle, led on by Mr. 94201 Bill Gates. Remember all this? Because these same numbers really do come together all the time in world-shaping events. But yeah, just a few other things to remind about today. From the anniversary of the treaty between Russia and the United States 158 years ago, which was March 30th, to this meeting today is 138 days later. Donald Trump's 138. Today leaves 138 days left in the year. The Misfits have that song, We Are 138. Something tells me, again, it's a really ominous song. It's like, what is this about? I'm sure it's one of those things where it's the recording industry that is full of these secret society types. Like, listen, a little different here. We want a song called We Are 138. How about, just put it out there. It'll drive people nuts. They'll wonder forever what it means. I think we know what it means. But yeah, that nice little perfection today, the double 138
What's
August
up, it's me.
15th, and being the day leaving 138 days left near.
Me,
You can also
okay.
see that it's the 227th day of the year. That's the 49th prime number. Alaska is the 49th state. And about Freemasonry, let me pull up the base ciphers real quick. If I write out ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry, you can see it as the 227, which is the 49th prime.
Yep.
And if I just write out Scottish alone, it's also 49. If I write out America, it's 49. If I write out Washington,
Miss
it's
Stephanie?
49. Okay. So yeah, I mean, the Masonic handshake today, I mean, how do you deny it? How do you deny it? How do you deny it? I just don't understand why people don't want to see it. Why is it so scary to see it? Why are you so afraid to see the truth?
And I just talked
It
about
bothers
this,
me
y'all.
how people are so afraid to confront and see the truth. It's really not that scary.
My stomach growling.
And there's really a lot of benefits to seeing it because then you're not being manipulated by these people. These people study the ancient mystery religions. One of those is Hermeticism, which teaches that this idea that you're either the person being manipulated or you're doing the manipulating. And honestly, I don't really want to be a manipulator, but I certainly don't want to be the one being manipulated.
Right.
And again, we got most people at this day and age being manipulated by all things, and they think they're in control of their life. That's what's comical. They
Right.
think these ideas buzzing through their head, their impulses, the junk food they're shoving into their mouth, that they can't stop touching their genitals. They think these are the things they want to do. No, they're not. Your ancestors didn't have all these things to bait them into all these negative, destructive behaviors.
Viagra and Cialis, they increase
Deep.
blood flow down there. That's why you can feel
No, but when I was looking at my teacher video, he had a video talking about the handshake, and I just was telling y'all about this last week, about the handshake, how deep that is. So when I saw some pastor do that, I was like, uh-oh, that's how I know how deep it is. Steph Curry and LeBron James did it in the championship game. I promise y'all. And I think that's when Cleveland came back. So I said, and when I went back, oh, LeBron James was it was mainly saying they was going to win, y'all. I'm telling you, this how deep this shit is, y'all.
Really work that well for it? Kind of seems like
They weren't going through anything about soda and ice cream and cookies and porn and everything else.
What up, Earl?
We're being manipulated in a lot of different ways, not just kabbalistically, but also just, sugar overload, all this stuff. The words that are assigned to these things aren't an accident either. The same way a number that they code all the... Here, let me come back to... Did I close this headline? Let me put this back up here. Let's put this one back up here, too. I almost missed one thing with the whole masonry thing today. You see what it says down here in the subheadline? High-stakes summit between Trump and Putin is underway. That's the headline. And the subheadline says, Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff are with Trump for the 3-on-3 meeting. 3-on-3.
DJ,
This whole
yup.
masonry thing going on here. Again, masonry 33.
That was lottery numbers.
Secrecy 33.
Look at them triple
Order
ones.
33. Federal 33.
138.
Kennedy 33.
Triple ones.
And killed
Triple
at Dealey
ones.
Plaza, named after a 33rd degree contract for Mason. But again, why 30?
Damn. That's cool.
33 with masonry. It's about Kundalini and the spiritual ascension up to 33 bones of the human vertebrae, people 33, person 33, society 33, nervous 33, again, the nervous system controlled by the spine,
Wow.
33 bones in the vertebrae. Because of all the programming and crap that goes on in our society, all the fear, anxiety stuff, think of Russia and the U.S. Okay, are there two nations responsible for more fear and anxiety in the world? You think about it, in recent times, Cold War, again, both these nations are constantly involved in war.
Wow.
But yeah, there is another way to think about that nervous, how people are anxious. So many people are on medication for anxiety and depression and all this stuff. But this is the point I'm making. A word like sugar, sugar 33.
Wow.
Sugar can be made into alcohol, another thing destroying a lot
Wow.
of lives. That's 33. When it's
Oh
prohibition,
my
33.
goodness.
The people who legalized alcohol in 33.
Oh,
Again, there's two sides to
God.
everything. 33. Kennedy, 33. And killed in Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree contract for Mason.
Triple
But again,
one.
why 33 with masonry? It's about Kundalini and the spiritual ascension up to 33 bones of the human vertebrae, people
Wow.
33, person 33, society 33, nervous 33, again, the nervous system controlled by the spine, 33 bones in the vertebrae. Because of all the programming and crap that goes on in our society, all the fear, anxiety stuff, think of Russia and the U.S. Okay, are there two nations responsible for more fear and anxiety in the world? You think about it, in recent times, Cold War, again, both these nations are constantly involved in war. But yeah, there is another way to think about that nervous, how people are anxious. So many people are on medication for anxiety and depression and all this stuff. But this is the point I'm making. A word like sugar, sugar 33. Sugar can be made into alcohol, another thing destroying a lot of people's lives. 33. When did Prohibition end? 33. The people who legalized alcohol in 33, again, there's two sides to everything. You can say, listen, we're the home of the free and the brave. If somebody wants to put a substance in their body, they should be able to. And you know what? That's the side I would vote on too. I'd say, yeah, it should be legal. It should be legal. I'm all about freedom, but again, you have to have proper education. Don't forget 33 is the master teacher number 2.
Master teacher number. Wow. Wow.
Just think about how they went crazy with the 33rd state, Oregon, with the drug legalization, and they had to stop it by the numbers. The fentanyl was killing everybody. The governor on 3-8, you see how fentanyl's 38 like Oregon, the governor had to come forward and say, okay, we're enough with the fentanyl, enough with the policy, too many people are dying. Again, they do this stuff on purpose, you guys. There's a reason they did that with the 33rd state. But imagine that we have a better society, right? Imagine that we actually are free. Like, we're like, listen, you're free if you want to use fentanyl, if you want to use crack, whatever. You are free to do so. But imagine that you had real education along the way. Here's maybe the reasons you don't want to do that, though. Here's what can happen. Because, I mean, if you ever know anybody who's come across heroin, I mean, a lot of people are one and done with heroin. It's just total addiction, and they lose all control of their life. So, like, I remember coming up in school, you go through drug and alcohol education, but it's all kind of just like bullshit. If somebody had shown me some examples, like a gentleman I used to know, Chris, who ruined his life with heroin. And it's
No,
the
this is
weirdest story, too,
Paige.
because he's one of these guys that got a job out of high school and worked his way to the top. And as soon as he got to the top, he went out and partied and celebrated.
Zachary Herbert
And
on
where he
YouTube.
wasn't with his wife, because his wife was home with the child. He had a younger son. He went out that night and partied, and where he was, he met a girl at this bar where he's out partying with his buddies. And she introduced him to some heroin, and he just became an instant addict. He was out sleeping in the front yard, withering away at their own house, and his wife didn't know what to do. And he ended up getting, like, within a week of becoming the boss, he was fired because he was caught doing heroin in the bathroom at his own job. So, I mean, these are real stories, and that's how, if you say, listen, these things exist in our world, but you know what? If everyone's like, I don't want that to happen to my life, that there isn't a heroin trade. You know, the only people peddling in heroin are I don't know who. I mean, the powers that be know the way human psychology works. You tell people not to do something, makes them want to do it even more. We learned that as children, and that's why parents
Stop playing the 4-digit. Oh, y'all ass still be playing.
You already forget, is the United States of amnesia that bad? No, you teach people why they shouldn't do things, but you give them a valid reason. You show them a real example. Alcohol. Alcohol can be a lot of fun, but it can also be totally destructive.
If you're unsure or unaware of your eyeglass prescription, or if your prescription changes frequently due to
my teacher telling y'all everything I told y'all,
then the Smart Zoom reading glasses are perfect for you. They automatically adjust from 100 to 700 diopters. Developed in collaboration.
I'll be telling y'all don't do such, y'all still do it. That shit, this crazy.
Are suitable for
but
both farsightedness
frequency
and
real.
nearsightedness. Also known as Professor Thomas, who spent 10 years developing this new model.
Here go his page. It's me,
You don't
okay.
need to undergo expensive
You can
eye
screenshot.
tests
This is YouTube
specialized
page.
stores. In just
Zachary
1
K.
second,
Herbert.
You can go from blurry to clear vision. You'll experience
You can
clear vision
screenshot
once
it.
again. And they filter out 90% of radiation and blue light from electronic devices. These glasses are...
You know, I learned in my early 20s it was hard for me to draw the line with alcohol, so I just had to draw the line and say, you know what, I really shouldn't drink. If I do drink, I gotta be extra limited in how many beverages I have. I have to learn this limit. But it's hard when you're drinking, right? You know, I remember a night that I don't even exactly know everything that happened after I got drunk, because if no one's drinking up, you know how you black out. But a lot of times you'll know you're at your limit, but then people are around you like, nah, do another one, take another one. Here, I bought you another one, and then yeah. So anyway, the point is, if you're taught to do things the right way, you'll probably make the right decisions, even if you're living in a world where all these things are available and they're not illegal. You know. Again, education. And that's the thing, too, about our nation, you guys. I mean, the idea at the beginning of the nation was we were supposed to be land of the free, home of the brave, and people were supposed to be educated, and there wasn't supposed to be censorship of information, and people were supposed to have the right to have the best information so they could make the best decisions. But that's not what we have now. Now we have this total authoritarian regime that lies to us and gives us nice songs and tells us that we're the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we're the greatest country, and oh, they're the big bully over there, but then they get together and they do their Masonic handshake, and they're all living high on the hog off all the taxes and fees they collect from we the slaves, and we live here in fear and in anxiety, and we're told all this bullshit that this war that just broke out randomly because of this guy who's the latest small mustache man, it's got our energy crisis, and all of this is bullshit. It's just these people at the top figuring out how to get greater and greater control over us and squeeze us more and more like a sponge. And everyone who sits here and can't see it is the problem.
Yes.
You are the reason it's allowed to continue to go on.
Yes.
You went out and voted for this sorry piece of shit
Yes.
again in this selection. I'm talking about that orange, ugly goon on the screen. The same guy who made us closer to communism than you ever seen in your life the last time he was president, when he started sending out checks, causing hyperinflation, as he now wants to point the finger at Joe Biden, who also printed a lot of checks, and it made it even worse. again, it's common sense. When you print money, you ruin the value of your dollar. That's exactly what happened. And why did they have to do that? Oh yeah, because there was some killer virus out there that they simulated on the day the military world games began in Wuhan, China, and they called it Event 201, and it was put on by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab, who runs the World Economic Forum, who Trump's buddies with. And remember, when they wound that down, as soon as it wound down, they fired up Russia-Ukraine, the latest thing to cause an energy crisis and financial crisis in the world that's made things as crazy as it is for almost everybody now, as expensive as everything is. I mean, things are drastically more expensive than they were just 5 years ago. And it's because you got these puppets doing their job, selling the lies to the people who continue to believe and entrust in them, as they do their little Masonic handshake right in front of you. And understand, I'm not saying that being a Freemason is bad. That's another thing people need to stop with. You're not just a bad person because you're a Freemason. There's a ton of people in Freemasonry that are nothing like Trump or Putin. They don't have any power in the world. They're just part of blue lodges. They're just like you and I, but they're in the blue lodge in the first 3 degrees where you have no power, and they don't even have any aspiration to climb above there. They just wanted some drinking buddies and to make a few more friends and learn some new things. And that's why people need to improve their communication too. When you're online just saying, oh, all Masons are Satanists and all. No, most people are like all of us.
My grandfather was a Mason, I think a
The way to
Mason.
look at it, again, just the people being ruled over. Unless you're one of these Mason types sitting up high in government, high in some corporation that's in cahoots with the government. Again, you're not the problem, and so many people try to paint this stroke like every last member of Freemasonry is no.
Yeah.
Now, something I do wonder about though is a story like this. Okay, this is national news, but it's bigger up here in the Pacific Northwest. This is a story that broke out right before Trump's visit in Alaska, and it comes out of Seattle, the closest U.S. city to Alaska, and one of the main thoroughfares in Seattle is Alaskan Way, where this happened at. And, of course, the fish industry in Seattle, a lot of it comes right through Alaska. But this story's buzzing in the news. The story broke in the national news the day that Trump was talking to Zelensky while he was in Berlin on the anniversary of the start of the construction of the Berlin Wall, where 10 years ago to the day they were doing a ritual with Trump in the Berlin Wall on August 13th. But, and again, the Berlin Wall has a lot to do with communism in the Eastern Bloc and Eastern and Western Germany. It's all related. It's like how Trump's wife is from that part of the world, an immigrant, as he, goes after immigrants. But they came here illegally. But why are they here illegally? Weren't we warned about what would happen back in the 90s, 33 years ago when we passed NAFTA in 92? I mean, Byron Dorgan. Byron Dorgan might be one of those better politicians, because if you don't know who Byron Dorgan is, he comes out of North Dakota. He's written some interesting books since he left politics, kind of seemingly talking about what may happen in this world. You might want to look into some of the books Byron Dorgan's written, but the reason I say he might be one of the better politicians is he was the most spot on. Go back and listen to Byron Dorgan in the 90s talk about why we should not pass NAFTA, because we'll be destroying Mexico and their agriculture, and those people will have nowhere to go but to the United States of America. Where else are they going to go for employment? If you destroy this agricultural land with this crazy trade deal that only benefits the super rich and destroys the the average human being.
Why don't you own an apartment building? I'm
Deep,
serious
y'all.
right now. Let me show you a path that
Told y'all numbers of mother's
more lines
country,
to your
y'all.
financial future.
What do you expect them to do? We're going to be the only employment center right next door. And granted, that probably was the total agenda at the time, because these corporations love using the illegal Mexicans. And, if you watch PBS back in the day, they do occasional stories on how a lot of these corporations will actually bus Mexicans in, house them for a little bit, promise them a paycheck, have them do a bunch of work, and then pay them nothing and just take them right back into their own country.
Wow.
It's like, I guess you gave them shelter for a few months, but you essentially used them as slaves.
Damn, I saw that.
This is the kind of stuff that's been going on in this country. Again, that's why you have this partnership.
That shit happened on the other side.
Little
Wow.
handshakes, but with governments and corporations, like fascism, with the Roman fascists on the wall of the House of
We
Representatives.
talk about we
And then when the
slaves.
political cycles come along, they give you all these storylines to follow. oh yeah, it was the Democrats who let them all in. It's like, both these political parties are working together to do all this shit.
Yes.
We get screwed while they get richer and richer, and they manipulate people. That's the game every cycle. And if you haven't figured that out, then you're still being the one. You're the one still being manipulated. You haven't figured it out. You're either the manipulator or the one being manipulated. If you're going to the ballot box, you're
Trending
definitely being
live. What
manipulated.
up?
You're voting in rigged selections. We told you 4 years before
Trending
it happened why
live,
they were putting
y'all.
Trump back in. I mean, it's this simple, you guys. It's this simple. In 25, number 47, the term set to end in 2029. It was synced with the 88-year-old Pope, who's now dead, who died on the 312th day of Trump's age after he got 312 electoral college votes, which was 58% of the electoral college, going with him winning the 58th election the first time, synced with Pope Francis, whose name also equals 58. If you look it up, Pope Francis literally became a Jesuit in 1958. And then Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for him, and then Joe Biden became number 46 in the 59th election, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. And then Joe Biden's favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, won Super Bowl 59 right before the Pope died. No, it's the last Super Bowl before Pope Francis died was 59. These things aren't an accident. The game is rigged. American football, who's that credit to? Oh, yeah, that's right. Walter Camp, the Freemason and Skull and Bones member out of Yale, etc., etc.
Y'all trending live, y'all.
But yeah, this 3-on-3, just more masonry stuff. You know, as I think about alcohol and Russians, I dated a girl for a bit who was Russian. Her name was Sarah, and I was too intimidated by her family. And they were like a bad stereotype. I already knew at that point in my life I needed to be careful with alcohol, and they were vodka maniacs. I was like, no, this is not going to go well for me. Not going to go well.
Yeah.
Going to have to find another. There's plenty of fish in
Y'all
the sea.
59.
Yeah, and again, just today's the anniversary of the first active
Yup,
weather
trending
warfare,
live, yup.
Lynmouth flood, August 15th, 52. I just see Alaska. You know, they're anxious right now about the Mendenhall River overflowing. 79, well, 79-year-old Trump's there, like Society of Jesus 79, again, like it's 79 days after Rubio's birthday. Oh, and I forgot to talk more about this Alaskan way shooting in Seattle, the biggest U.S. city next to Alaska right before this happened. Again, the shooting happens on Alaskan Way on July 31st. Now, that's the feast day of Ignatius of Loyola, who's the founder of the Jesuits. This was 15 days before Trump meets in Alaska on the Jesuit Order's birthday. But this didn't make the news until August 13th, 2 days prior. And I can't figure out what the name of the victim is. They just refer to him as a 68-year-old man, which, of course, us who decode sports, we know 68 is a big number in Seattle. Seattle, Washington, 68. And not even just sports. Anyone who's followed my work, again, 1968, why Seattle is so important in that year, and New York and how it all comes together through what happened in September of 2001 and what happened with the virus. All these things are connected. 1968,
Yeah.
Boeing debuts their jumbo jetliners out of Seattle. World Trade Center construction begins. 911 made the national emergency dialing code. Fentanyl approved by the FDA. Seattle has one of the worst fentanyl problems in the whole world. Also has a big needle right there across from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I think it's just I think they took Melinda's name off there actually now. And Corona, the virus was coined in 68 as seasonal flu. And again, they told you in 68 several times that flu was way down and Corona was way up. But hey, if you went back to 1968, wouldn't that just mean that was the strain of flu that year? Pretty sure that's exactly what that would mean, but they made it all seem so scary because we just never heard it before.
Well, I think Whoop It was a tool.
Deep,
and
y'all.
like any tool, you have to learn how to use it.
This is
And
my
that's
teacher,
building a
y'all. I've been,
relationship with your data.
well, I used to
So I do
really
think
watch
it's
him like
important
7
that
years
you
ago,
show
but I've been
something's
following
not
for
good,
years,
give them a
y'all.
set of information.
That would mean, but they made it all seem so scary because we just never heard it before. Kept it under the books for all those years. All those things in 68. But yeah, this incident that happened, this shooting, Seattle gunman Gregory Tim, who crashed car into Trump voter registration, is accused of shooting man in wheelchair over stolen valor. And just look at stolen valor. I mean, just look at it. 144, 153. Jesuit order 144, 153. I'm pretty sure we covered those numbers today. Stolen valor 45. Trump used to be 45. Alaska equals 45. Forwards and backwards. The first thing he did when he got back in office was renamed Mount Denali back to Mount McKinley.
People wonder why I talk the way I talk, what I know.
Yeah, the other thing about this, it was a date with 47 numerology. Trump's number 47. Seattle's on the 47th parallel. I mean, there's nothing but number rituals here, and it's just a major Jesuit tribute. And not to mention, this is in the news, about the 68-year-old right before Trump meets Putin on 68 date numerology. And don't forget, from the KGB to Mason to the CIA, it's all Jesuit. I should go back and do that stream again. I showed how all these secret intelligence agencies all clearly have the Jesuit fingerprints all over them. In the CIA, it's the very most obvious. But, yeah, they referred to the 68-year-old man who was attacked as wheelchair-bound. His emphasized phrase, "Grateful I'm here."
All lottery numbers, y'all.
We had, No, Deborah Horn was who came out when we had our Event 201 rally. She's with Cairo 7. She talked to us for a while, and she actually came out again because she ran into us again because we were out Friday through Sunday that weekend. And she talked to us both times for a length of time, but they never put it on the news. And you know why? I mean, maybe if it was up to her, it would have made the news, but we were desperately that weekend, we were out there March 13th through March 15th, 2020. Right after the pandemic was declared. Friday the 13th was the day that Trump declared the pandemic for the nation specifically. Same day Bill Gates stepped down from Berkshire Hathaway while we were outside of his foundation. Seemed ironic, but yeah, we were trying to get the news to
Abundance.
The Event 201 simulation.
I gotta send it to you, bro.
The fact that they simulated the pandemic on the day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China.
Yeah,
the
I'll
Bill
go.
Gates Foundation were the main co-sponsors. And to this day, almost nobody still knows about it, which is pathetic. And isn't it sad? I mean, the whole First Amendment was supposed to be so that the media felt safe to share information no matter how controversial and not to be threatened by potentially corrupt government authorities. This is the whole idea of the country. And just see, it's like, well, that's not the way it works, though.
I can't even see it. Dying
the way
breed.
reality really works.
It's the cipher.
If you are threatened,
I know the cipher too. I'll show you later.
Well, most people will. That's not everybody, but that's probably 99 out of 100 people. That's the way they work. Listen, just do your job and do what you say. You'll get paid, and you'll see your family tonight. If you don't, you're gonna die today. At least 99 out of 100 people are like, fine, I'm doing what I'm told, and I'm going home to my family tonight. That's the way this world really works. Doesn't matter if you have a First Amendment or not. You got a big bully operating that way, playing that way. That's the way the game goes. That's exactly how it goes here in the States. It's very clear. And, at this point in the game, it doesn't have to be that way. Now people are just so fear of scrutiny from their peers. They'll just march along to any lie as long as they fit in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always this way. Aaron strengthens into the Atlantic season's first hurricane. I mean, you just gotta love it, right? On the anniversary of the first act of weather warfare on the Jesuit order's birthday. I mean, I didn't want to get into this guy.
Look at the weather channel.
Just look at the overlap with the Jesuit order and weather control. Just look at it.
Well,
How many people know about
weather
the 90s
control
document from the Air Force owning the weather by 2025? How many people know what they actually did on the 4th of July this year to that poor little town of Kerrville, named after James Kerr, who had a 24/9 birthday, going with Kerrville getting wiped out on the 249th day of the year. Not to mention it happened 83 days from his birthday anniversary in the 830 area code when flood equals 83 and Genesis 8:3 is where the biblical flood ends. Or that the warning went out on the 74th minute of the day, 1:14 a.m. on 7/4, 74 days after the anniversary of the Texas Revolution ending, when that's what James Kerr is known for.
So this is my teacher. This my teacher, Gematria. This where I learned my Gematria from, y'all. So all my numbers game, I learned it from him. I've been following him like 7, 8, no, about 10 years ago. He taught me the game. He taught me, that's how I know a lot of shit in this world fake, y'all. They using numbers for everything. Everything, y'all. I was gonna see this video, Abundance, and I'm gonna send you another one. Yeah, watch this whole video. I'm talking, he talking about church, everything you was talking about. He just breaking down with the numbers. See, they match up numbers to tell a story, y'all. That's why I said a lot of shit fake. All that news, y'all be voting, that shit is rigged. Lottery numbers. All these numbers that's showing up came out in the lottery, y'all. Told you what the lottery is for.
74. 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents did 7-4. Again, Adam, who learned from me, he did an interview on a channel, and he did okay. It was, but the thing that I liked is the person interviewing him. He was just floored. He never realized in his whole life that 3 of the first 5 U.S. presidents died on 7-4. He just couldn't believe that.
Y'all hear that?
And the thing is, like, I feel like that's how everybody should react. The way that person reacted when he told him that. But say they don't have that reaction. It just shows you there's something wrong with them. Like, well, I mean, coincidences happen. 3 of the first 5 presidents died on the nation's birthday? That's not weird to you?
Y'all hear that?
And then you learn Gematria and killing 74, Joe's holiday and Independence Day and a lot of other things like Masonic, like a cult, like Roman, like all roads lead to Rome, like Jesus, like cross. Symbol of Jesus is his death on the cross, and we're on the Society of Jesus' calendar and speaking their language. And their stuff's everywhere all over this nation and the Capitol. They set up camp in Washington, D.C. before the federal government was even there.
See, this will let my mom right here, y'all.
By the way, 4th of July also equals 177.
Yeah.
4th of July, 177 for that weather control. Poor Kerrville.
Y'all hear that?
Best and worst dinner for
Martin Luther King was 39 years old. Malcolm X was 39 years old. When I be telling y'all that, y'all be like, okay, so what? That's a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Both of them was 39 years old. When you turn 39 around, that's 93. 93 meaning the keeper of time. How many, the sun is what, 93 million? Man, y'all better wake up to my work, y'all. I promise y'all. I let people talk the crazy shit to me. I know I'm on the right track.
Thing too. Did you hear the Republicans rejected the siren warning system? And then you look in there, it's like, that's not what happened. They rejected money for COVID from the feds because they were worried they were all going to have to get shots in the town if they did that, which to me, I could understand. I'd be like, yeah, I don't want any of your money. I don't want to be used and abused by your agenda. I think they made the right call there personally, but somehow people spun it into, they could have used that money to make sirens. Like, that's not what it was about. It was about
Hell yeah, abundance. Hell yeah, it's teeth.
Everybody trying to bend, and that's all that went viral everywhere. Everybody who's on the internet heard that story.
All these lottery numbers.
All the bullshit goes viral.
Yup.
How about this one, you guys? This one's unrelated, but shout out to my sports community. Gentleman from Chicago called in this morning and said, Zach, did you see this story? That a 18-year-old Caleb Williams was killed in Chicago? Now, if you don't follow football, you might not stand out why, but in the NFL, the number 1 draft pick last year was Caleb Williams to Chicago, and he wears the number 18, right? So, he spells his name with a C.
Y'all hear this?
The NFL player. The kid who got killed spells his name with a K. Does this remind you of what happened on April 2nd, Rodney King's birthday anniversary earlier this year, where Carmelo Anthony was nominated to the NBA Hall of Fame, and on the same day, Carmelo Anthony stabs a kid named Austin Metcalf?
Wow.
But he spelled, the stabber, spelled his name with a K rather than a C like Carmelo, the NBA star, did? And in light of Austin Metcalf, this Caleb Williams was supposedly killed in South Austin, an area in Chicago. And hold on, speaking of the Masons, I forgot to take the screenshot. Hold up. Hold up. I got this is worth it. Bear with me here real quick.
All right, Teach, go to work, Teach.
Bear with me for a second. His number 56 jersey and his Raptors jersey, we'll come back to that. I'm not going to play this. Oh my God, this ad's way too long. All right, here, we'll come back in just a second. I got to show you how his mom's all dressed up. I've seen this one 1,000 times over the years. It's the same stuff every day. I might also forget. Listen, you guys, he was killed. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to the killing
Bears.
at 4:37 a.m. But
wow,
an 18-year-old named Caleb Williams, again, when the star of the Chicago Bears is Caleb Williams, who wears 18.
Wow.
A 35-year-old killed an 18-year-old in Chicago, okay? Bears 18, Chicago 35. Put their ages together, they add up to 53. There's a 53-man roster in the NFL, 53-yard wide field. The shape of the football in sacred geometry is the Vesica Pisces, which is 53. Also 82, like Chicago, Illinois.
Football got that point at the end.
Let me see. God, this ad is still going. Are you kidding me?
That football got that point at the end, like a nose, like an airplane,
ridiculous.
like a bullet. That pyramid.
Okay. They said that the killing happened on West Maypole Avenue, which equals 56, like his jersey number, like Black Lives Matter, like Society of Jesus, again, the Jesuits. Also reminds a bit of Obama, who won the 56th election and gave his acceptance speech from Chicago, and then Lori Lightfoot, who had the same birthday as Obama, became the 56th mayor of Chicago, and then they eventually painted Black Lives Matter in D.C. on the 5th day of the 6th month on Church Street,
Bandit.
which is also 16th Street, when the Jesuits, who served the Catholic Church, were created in the 16th century. Look up the Jesuit priest who brought Obama into political fame in Illinois, because, yeah, actually how Obama made it was through a Jesuit priest as well. Okay, this is stupid. How come? Oh, maybe when you go off, it knows, so it makes you watch the whole ad. They're just getting too smart, aren't they? This world of advertisements, don't you hate it? God, I hate advertisements.
Yeah, they smart. You already know they smart.
All right, let me fast forward to Mom. Oh, look at Mom, you guys. Can you see Mom's outfit?
Look at them,
How about Mom's
stripes,
outfit, you guys?
some checkerboards or whatever.
Recognize that? Mom just wore the Masonic checkerboard floor.
Wow.
Daddy's got the rose on his hat. When
Wow.
Masonry, a rose is
Oh,
secrecy.
I'm through.
Wearing the socks, the white socks.
Wow.
Again, think about like hip hop history.
Wow.
How many
Teach.
rappers, whether they're thousands of miles from Chicago or not, wore the White Sox hat? And we're talking tons. Look how it's got the 42 encoded in it. Remember they stamp all over Black history? A whole other topic. And in this case, with the wife wearing the Freemason top. I mean, come on. Who goes? How many people do you see out in public wearing like a straight up?
POV, you just learned how to
Y'all
tell
see
your
how deep?
voice.
Look, y'all notice I was. This a new video, y'all. So what I was talking about months ago, I mean weeks ago, my teacher saying most of the shit I was already talking about, y'all. This video he was talking about the handshake, and I did my video last week, y'all.
How many people do you see out in public wearing like a straight up checkerboard? And what else is crazy?
Hell yeah,
is, I don't know if
Bandit.
you can make it out. You guys can look up this for yourself. But if you can make it out, I can't zoom it in anymore. Or hold on, I can make it bigger. Like, oh shit. Hold on, let me find a
And
better
look how they
angle.
look.
There's
Wow.
a little owl on here too.
Wow.
Owl.
Look at his shirt, y'all. That's V-neck. Look at the shirt he wearing. He got that V-neck.
Yeah, you might want to watch it yourself. It's hard to make out, but
That V-neck, y'all. That T-shirt we be wearing.
another one of these people's symbols.
Symbols.
And just for the record, the plural Freemasons also does have the 56. Again, the Masonic Jesuit Alliance. And with regards to the Jesuits, the Caleb Williams football star, the child was killed on a Sunday, like most football games are on Sunday, on August 10th. They had 8 plus 10 together, you got 18. But on the 266th day of his age, like the Jesuit motto is Jesus Hominum Salvator, equaling 266.
I
The
know
first
abundance.
Jesuit Pope was the 266. That was Pope Francis, who spoke next to Obama on September 23rd, 2015, the 266th day of the year, back when Obama was in office.
Symbology. Yes, sir.
The death came 29 days before the season opener for the Bears, who are going to be hosting George Floyd Town.
Wow.
You guys have no idea how much. See that? I just wish everybody knew this knowledge, because you'd just be blown away of what they do across all these sports leagues when Minnesota and Houston play each other. It's amazing how they figure out how to do a perfect George Floyd ritual every time now. George Floyd was from Houston and died in Minnesota, and just every time, doesn't matter if it's the NBA, MLB, NFL, every time these teams are coming together, they're paying tribute to George Floyd, the same numbers in his death. It's just mind-blowing. It's like, the way they script this stuff is pretty amazing, but
hell yeah,
also
I'd be
straight up
amazed
mockery.
with it. Yeah.
And yeah, I went longer than I meant to. I gotta get Sweet Girl in overtime again. So if you got here late, we started with the Masonic handshake.
I was talking about that.
The Masonic handshake on 15/8, Freemasonry 158. On the date 15/8, 158 years since Russia sold Alaska to the U.S.
158.
You can learn more about this Masonic handshake over at the BBC.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, y'all. He talked that 158. Look what North Carolina got last night. Look what they got in the lottery last night. Some of y'all got 518 too. I know what I'm talking about, y'all. You get where I'm coming from? That's why when I look at the lottery, I can't play the lottery like that, because I know it's deeper than just the lottery. I know they speaking in code with these numbers, y'all. This how they getting that shit across. See, y'all thinking y'all looking at the news and they telling y'all the news bullshit. This the real messenger right here, y'all. I know, y'all, that was deep.
What's funny is I did listen to this video, and then he says at the end, he goes, "It's very rare for Masons to ever do the handshake outside of the temple, though." And by the way, with regards to the temple, remember, the body's the temple, right?
Abundance.
Masonic temple equals 206 in Gematria, and how many bones are in the human body? 206? Could have been part of the reason they had this little ritual here.
Hey, I'm loving this, y'all.
The first Jesuit pope was the
I'm loving this.
266. That was Pope Francis, who spoke next to Obama on September 23rd, 2015, the 266th day of the year, back when Obama was in office.
Oh, this made my day already. My frequency up there, baby.
Death came 29 days before the season opener for the Bears, who are going to be hosting George Floyd Town. You guys have no idea how much. See that? I just wish everybody knew this knowledge, because you'd just be blown away of what they do across all these sports leagues when Minnesota and Houston play each other. It's amazing how they figure out how to do a perfect George Floyd ritual every time now. George Floyd was from Houston and died in Minnesota, and just every time, doesn't matter if it's the NBA, MLB, NFL, every time these teams are coming together, they're paying tribute to George Floyd, the same numbers in his death. It's just mind-blowing. It's like, the way they script this stuff is pretty.
Hey, y'all, don't leave yet, y'all.
It's also straight up mockery.
He about to be finished. Don't leave yet, y'all. Hold on.
Yeah, I went longer than I meant to. I gotta get Sweet Girl in overtime again. So if you got here late, we started with the Masonic handshake. The Masonic handshake on 15/8, Freemasonry 158. On the date 15/8, 158 years since Russia sold Alaska to the U.S. You can learn more about this Masonic handshake over at the BBC.
Okay, almonds versus peanuts. Which one is better for you?
Neither. I have some information about weight.
What's funny is I did listen to this video, and then he said at the end, he goes, "It's very rare for Masons to ever do the handshake outside of the temple, though." And by the way, with regards to the temple, remember, the body's the temple, right? Masonic temple equals 206 in Gematria, and how many bones are in the human body? 206? Could have been part of the reason they had this little ritual here in Seattle, the 206 area code on Alaskan Way right before the meeting, but anyway.
206 was that license plate in Georgia, y'all.
Anyway.
Uh-oh, here.
Right, I do got to go get Sweet.
Hold on. He about to go.
Thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. I see you guys got very generous again. I appreciate the generosity.
Hey, man, Teach, I'm with you, man. Look, if I conversate with Teach, y'all, right now, he be like, man, that work is flawless. Look at this. We just was talking about this. Hold on. Where we at? Where we at, Georgia? Georgia, what's that license plate? Look at that connection, y'all. Look at police. Look at the police. Look at that connection, y'all. Look at that 602. What he just was talking about. All the connection. What happened with this was a shooting in Georgia. That's why I say the lottery they speaking in code, y'all. But they just told us we can win money. They just put money involved with it, y'all. Hell yeah, that's how I learned from Abundance. I was gonna send you this video and I was gonna send you this, but I won't go send it early this morning. You know what I'm saying? I have respect. Look at this. He broke them down, but I want y'all to see this right quick. What was his video from last night? Hold on. This is deep, y'all. This was deep. I had to go back and look at this video
Welcome
again.
back, True Seeker. Just saw Ice Cube on CNN, and they were interviewing him about why he might think people think his new movie, War of the Worlds, is so horrible.
Watch this, Abundance, y'all.
Is his character name is Radford. Radford, does it sound familiar? How about just yesterday, the military base shooting in Georgia, down where CNN is, where the shooter's name was Cornelius, spelled with a Q, Radford. And like I talked about yesterday, the day of that shooting, it was a date with 59 numerology. Again, it was August 6th, 2025. I also told you, I thought Otani might hit a bomb yesterday on the anniversary of Hiroshima. He sure did. But anyway, that's a whole other story. August 6th, 2025, 8 plus 6 plus 20 plus 25, 59. The number stamped all over Black history. Look at how this movie begins. It's literally the opening second of this movie. It starts with 59 on the screen. Are you kidding me?
You see how they was speaking in code?
Again, in Gematria, slave equals 59. Like Negro, like blues, like Rasta, like Motown came out in 59. Like how BET canceled their awards on the same day as the black shooter at the Georgia base, Radford. I mean, you guys, I can't explain to you how irked I am by the fact that humanity denies this knowledge when it's literally in your face every single day. Again, Motown came out in 59, Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. This code of letters and numbers where slave, Negro, Rasta, blues all equal 59. It's biblical. The most infamous verses in the Bible about slavery are verses Ephesians 6, 5 through 9. Slaves, obey your masters. Don't forget what they did to poor OJ 59 days from the Super Bowl. As the masters teed off, as they showed video of him in a golf cart. Sick jokes.
Hell yeah.
Of course, last year was Super Bowl 59. The second time in history, two black quarterbacks faced off in the Super Bowl. And it was the same two black quarterbacks who faced off in Super Bowl 57, which was on Lincoln's birthday, who freed the slaves.
Wow.
But seriously, what is people's excuse to deny this knowledge? Confirmation bias? Are you kidding me? The movie starts out with 59 on the screen, with a black face, ice cubes. The end with attitude. You know, the one whose music was promoted big time as the drug war was getting underway. They put a lot of people in cages, and then they were used for slave labor by corporations, which goes on to this day. Again, the closest thing to slavery is being in the penitentiary and getting used for pennies on the dollar for labor by big corporations. And then, of course, now we have for-profit prisons where people make a bunch of money just from keeping you in cages.
Wow.
But yeah, Ice Cube was part of that group that really spread the idea of slanging rocks and doing things that might end you up in the cage. But come on, this movie comes out right before the Radford shooting on 59 date numerology, and this is how it starts?
Wow.
I mean, come on. For all the Gematria deniers, for all the people who don't spread this knowledge for one reason or another, do you realize that you're part of the problem?
Yes, Teach, I got you.
Do you realize that you're suffering from massive cognitive dissonance?
I got you, Teach.
I mean, I've only taught about this almost every single day for going on 12 years now. But yeah, new on Amazon. Horribly reviewed, War of the Worlds. Ice Cube's new movie. It's in the top 10 if you have the Amazon streaming service. And again, just turn it on. You'll see this is the opening second of the film. Just starts right there. Boom, 59. We'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker.
You about to go now. Y'all remember this? Look at this. This how you know. This how you know everything he was talking about. We was talking about 59. We was talking about Trump age, and we was talking about 49. Didn't he say that 149? You see how the numbers are how significant, y'all? All I did was took what I learned in gematria to the lottery. But you don't. What I'm saying is, I didn't. How can I say it though? Because the lottery is gematria, but it's not gematria. It's basic math and patterns, y'all. I just know how to look at the numbers different, my friends. I'm gonna do one more video, y'all. I'm gone. Abundance. I'm telling you, you can get with this abundance. I'm telling you, this like on up. I'm telling you, you can get with this. Yeah, you can get this, bro, for real. Hold on, they just had. We go do this. I'm gone.
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community. The stocks I share are also free. The techniques and strategies I teach are also free. So please don't ask me if I charge a
Under the House, or what it says, White House races to prepare for Trump-Putin summit.
Oh, so he can have his baby. Not to say it's gonna be bad. Oh,
Where
so
that title came from, Boss Baby. Remember, the Trump-Putin summit this Friday on
hold on,
the
y'all. Not to
Jesuit
say it like
order's
that.
birthday, August 15th. Its date can be written 15/8, and this year does mark 158 years since Russia sold Alaska to the U.S., and the meeting is in Alaska. And you know what's interesting about Alaska as well? It's the 49th state, and Friday is the 227th day of the year, which is the 49th prime number.
Let's go here. He have his daughter. Not to be saying like that. I just know.
Celebrity passing in the headlines. This time it is Tommy Brooks, the boxing trainer who made his name with Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. He was there for the ear-biting moment, remembered by fighting fans decades later. But yeah, gone at 71, and we just saw another big fighter's death at 71 not all that long ago. In fact, just 5 days before Tommy Brooks reported passing on International Tiger Day, July 29th. And with regards to 71, again, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Notice boxing equates to 71 when you run the alphabetic order forwards. A is 1 up to Z is 26. Turn the letters to numbers, add up the word like it's a math equation. When you run it in reverse, boxer
But you
is
you
71.
did call that number.
Again, boxing trainer, dead at 71. He was also a pro boxer
153.
himself. Tommy Brooks was born in 54 and died on the 54th day of his age. Talk about this one all the time. Jesuit Order 54, The Cosby Show 54. We just saw what happened to Malcolm Jamal Warner at age 54. If you missed that
Wow.
work, you definitely want to check it out. Told you a year before it happened why Diddy would go down at 54.
He said that, y'all.
Connected to R. Kelly, who was sentenced to prison on the Jesuit
He said
Order
that, y'all.
recognition anniversary at age 54, and a million other things. This 54 number is all over the place with the Jesuits, whose headquarters is at the Church of the Jesuit, Building 54. Again, for people who don't know the Jesuits, it's because you went to slave school and you didn't learn nothing that mattered. The Jesuits are who run this nation. The movie They Live, if you've never seen it, Cable 54, The Enemy of the World, that movie wasn't joking. Hey, again, long history of the Jesuits in 54. At their peak, they had 54 universities in the U.S. Their first one, Georgetown, was founded by a 54-year-old John Carroll, whose name also equals 54, like Jesuit Order. But here's the big piece. Tommy Brooks has the 59 gematria, like slave, like Negro, like blues, like Rasta, like Motown came out in 59, like Black History Month ends on the 59.
Look at that 59, y'all.
Mike Tyson, who's still fighting, has 59 fights under his belt. And in light of this man training both Holyfield and Tyson, their first fight was November 9th, 1996. So this year was, or last year, November 9th was the 28th anniversary of that match. And notice from the anniversary of that match until his death was 262 days later. Notice how Faustian bargain equates to 62, like how old Holyfield is right now. Again, Tyson's 59 right now. Holyfield 62. But 262 days after that fight anniversary, Faustian bargain, which is what goes on in the world of entertainment, deals with the devil. 62 and 262. And again, this is just business as usual in the world of entertainment. Keep in mind the word sacrifice also equates to 62. But yeah, the story goes, legendary boxing coach Tommy Brooks, who trained Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, died after a battle with cancer. News of the 71-year-old's death was reported by Hall of Fame boxing promoter Lou DiBella. For the record, Lou DiBella equals Jesuit order. On Tuesday night, he's got an Italian name, like the Jesuits served the Vatican in Italy. Got more bad news a little while ago, DiBella wrote on X. It was just confirmed by his family that esteemed boxing trainer Tommy Brooks died tonight after having fought a very aggressive cancer. Too young. And again, no doubt people do die from cancer, but a lot of times it seems to be used as the excuse for the death that was actually caused by something else.
Hell yeah, I'm telling y'all what's going on, y'all.
It is full of ritual sacrifice.
Yes, my friends, for real.
Nobody believed me at first.
Told
Now
y'all
everybody
they be
wants it.
lying to y'all, my
friends
friends.
roasted me
Lying
for
to
buying
us.
miracle glasses online. They said I got
Everything was
scammed,
planted,
but then I
y'all.
showed-
For real.
I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to the world of boxing right now.
I don't watch
So
none of that
often,
shit.
when big names go, it's around the time of a major event or a major accomplishment in the sport. So the next thing to do would be look up what's going on in the fighting world. When is the next big event? How might this factor in? But yeah, if you're new here, just the one other piece to mention is how the Gematria works. Again, it's the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with numerology applied. And for example, again, boxing with the alphabetic order, it's 71. With the alphabetic order in numerology, it's 35. With the reverse alphabetic order, it's 91. With the reverse alphabetic order in numerology, it's 28. Kind of like how his death at 71 is synced up with the 28th anniversary of the first time Tyson and Holyfield fought. And just for the record, the second time they fought, that fight was June 28th, 97. It would be 31 days after that fight. And you see how Slave is 31 and 59 in the base ciphers. Again, Tyson's 59 right now. Tommy Brooks is 59. You see how a name like Obama is 14 and 31 like Slave. And then Obama's Secret Service name was Renegade, 59 like Slave. And Barack Obama's 76, also like Slave. And again, Acts 7:6 is about 400 years of slavery. And it's the 44th book in the Bible. And Obama did the book of Promised Land. But Obama, he also announced he was running for president February 10th, 2007, which was the 31st anniversary of the federal government recognizing Black History Month in 76, which of course ends Black History Month on the 59th day of the year, and then the 14th Amendment has a lot to do with slavery. The point is, you learn this system, you see through history, you see through the present, and by the way, I almost forgot one. African American is 71. That movie about Nat Turner, Birth of a Nation, it equals 71. Remember they said it had a horrible box office, only making 7.1 million.
Wow.
Nat Turner died November 11th, 1831. A date with 71 numerology. So, yeah, both fight anniversaries definitely matter here. Both fighters definitely matter. Their ages, 59 and 62. And you want to get cute with it, 59 plus 62 is 121, like blood sacrifice.
Wow, hell yeah.
Part could be coincidental, but the rest of it sure isn't.
Hell yeah, blood sacrifice.
By the way, I'm watching The Walking Dead for the first time ever. Season 5, Episode 4, they pay tribute to the Jesuits. They pay tribute to St. Ignatius, the founder of the Jesuits. The Season 5, Episode 4 ends with a portrait of Ignatius of Loyola, their founder. Season 5, Episode 9. You guys, just go put on Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 9. You won't miss it. Slave, Negro, Blues, Rasta. The episode is entirely focused on the black characters, and Tyrese, who's probably the most notable black character next to Michonne, he dies in that episode. And he dies because he's staring at the picture of two young black children who are zombies in the house, and he thinks they're dead, but his mistake is one of them's not, and it comes up and bites him from behind. But they had to do that in Season 5, Episode 9. Again, it's like how in season 4, episode 7,
Wow,
the governor
y'all.
coming back with one eye lies to this group of people, tries to take control of them, and leads them all to slaughter. Anyway, the show is just full of so many jokes, and so is all the world of entertainment. But again, I'm going through right now and just laughing at how The Walking Dead's put together. There's no other episode that focuses on the black characters like season 5, episode 9. It's just, and again, how many times have I taught about these things? I mean, I wrote a book about this. It's pretty much a decade old now. It's just
So you got a book too,
it's
Abundant.
sad that more people
Or a
don't
lot of
know.
books.
So, R.I.P. Tommy Brooks. And here, let me check one more thing because Iron Mike had that fight against Jake Paul that was clearly rigged.
Yes.
Mike was told not to finish him off. You could see he could have early in the fight if he was allowed to follow through. He'd charge in there and get a good shot, and then he'd just back off and stop. It's totally obvious rig fight, but I wonder how it was. Remember that was the night of the full moon, and I'll never forget it because Sweet Lady went into labor that night. But they had Mike Tyson with his pants down doing a full moon to the audience. Hold on here.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
From Mike's fight to July 29th, 256 days. That's 201 in base 8 counting. Huge number with the Jesuits if you're new here. If you count the span, it's 257 days. And let me put blood sacrifice up here again. Blood sacrifice, 257.
Hell yeah, Abundant. Hell yeah.
Figures. All right, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Till next time.
Watch what butter
So yeah,
does to
y'all,
your
some of y'all
buttons.
wanna
The reason butter is called
yeah, this is what I
butter
learned
is
from y'all,
because of
Gematria.
the butyric acid. The best part of butyrate is most
Zachary
people
K.
don't
Herbert,
know
y'all.
that the lining of
Herbert
your colon,
Hubbard.
the cells that line your colon,
Herbert
80%
Hubbard.
of their nourishment comes from butyrate. And most of us don't make enough butyrate.
Yeah, he have a lot of videos. They be taking some of his videos down, y'all. Yeah, he flawless, y'all.
Get butyrate production in your diet. Eggs.
If you're gonna get eggs,
Yeah,
these
he's
are the
flawless.
kind of pasture-raised eggs. Oatmeal.
Yeah, he opened my eyes, y'all.
Worst thing you can have for
I promise y'all.
all oats in the United States.
When I
It's
and
positive.
how I found his video,
Glyphosate, which is a major gut disruptor.
I was gambling, y'all, playing sports. So when I was going online, I was going on looking for the guy. Like I be looking for bets. Like when I used to gamble, I used to listen to other people bets and shit and take some of their bets. So I strolled across his page on YouTube, and then he was like, man, y'all stop bet. Some he was saying it's rigged. No, he was like, man, the sports is rigged. So I had clicked on this video, so he was talking blase, blase, and LeBron James was down, y'all. They was down with Steph Curry, and I bet it. When I say I bet it big on Golden State versus Cleveland, and then I was making bets when they was down, still when they was up like 3-1. But he was like, LeBron James will come back and win by the numbers. LeBron James going to come back. He started going on his computer, doing all what he was doing, just because such and such, such and such, such and such, such. He say, it's meant for LeBron James. They gonna make a comeback. And I'm like, man, that Negro don't know what he talking about. As soon as they won, y'all, I went to go find that man video. Then he was saying something about Muhammad. No, he was talking about Prince death. Steph Curry done won. Prince had on purple at the game, and he was doing some number, blah, blah, blah. He said they might kill Prince about next year, something like that, or such and such by the numbers. And damn it, he died. So that's how I learned how to do my shit, y'all. Y'all get where I'm coming from? That's why I ain't gonna even say think. That's why I know what I know, y'all. That's why I know it's no such thing as whatever. I'm not gonna leave it. I'm not gonna say that. That's why it's not no such thing, y'all. No, it's not, my friends. Everything is a lie in this world. Everything. They lied about everything, y'all. They lied about everything, my friends. I promise y'all that. They lied about everything. Y'all believing in some shit that don't exist, y'all. Numbers telling me everything. What's this? Yeah, but this gonna be the last one, y'all.
Just want to say congrats to the winners. Of course, in the preseason, we thought the Thunder
Look at that number,
were the
68.
top team in the West to represent in the finals with a great narrative to win the finals, and that's because this is the 79th NBA season. And the Thunder used to be the Seattle Sonics, who won the championship in '79. And if you missed my work on this NBA playoffs, they've been paying all kinds of tribute to the Oklahoma City bombing that happened April 19th, 95. In Game 7, there were 95 points at the half. Remember, the game on June 11th was the anniversary of Timothy McVeigh being executed in Indiana. Execution equals 116, and the Pacers won that game with 116 points on the 11th day of the 6th month. But here's the real joke about this. I always talk about how they sync up sports with news and history. Not only were they paying tribute to Timothy McVeigh in Oklahoma City with this championship, but they're paying tribute to what's going on right now between the U.S. and Israel and Iran. I've been talking about the Templars, how important the Templars are to the history of why Israel is where it is, how Pete Hegseth, the current Secretary of Defense, has Templar tattoos all over his body. Look up.
They've taken this video down 3 times because it teaches you how to hit lottery tickets every week. Watch now while it's still up before they take it down again. You might think it's all random, but what I'm about to show you was once called a risk to statistical balance by one of the lottery's own auditors. For decades, everyone believed the drawings were unpredictable, just luck. But one group began noticing a flaw invisible to the average person. The numbers follow cyclical patterns and aren't truly distributed at random. That's when a former audit employee started digging into internal reports, and he uncovered something that changed everything. Exact repetitions between different drawings. Something that could only happen if there was a hidden flaw in the algorithms. Shortly after, he was quietly fired and hasn't been heard from since. Before disappearing, he recorded a video explaining exactly what he found. If the Learn More button is still showing, click now and you'll see with your own eyes the same silent pattern that's already helped thousands of regular people win more than they ever imagined. In the video, you'll discover the visual chart that shows which numbers are 3 times more likely to appear in 7-day cycles, why playing on the right days when repeat-prone numbers show up is smarter than betting blindly every day, the reverse adjustment trick that's become a silent trend among those who live off the lottery. This content has already been taken down 3 times, and each time it returns, it stays online for less time. Watch the free video now and see for yourself how this pattern works. No magic, no complex formulas, just applied math exposing a flaw no one expected to find. Click below to watch now and start winning $50,000 from the lottery in the coming weeks.
I love it. When did he start? I ain't never heard nobody talk about math and lottery, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. I know I ain't saying I was the first one, but I never was hearing people really talk about math. I really wanted to click on that Mother Scruncher, but I don't click on that just to see what was what, y'all. Because what he was saying was he was talking real. He was talking the truth, y'all. What he was saying, y'all get where I'm coming from?
Look up the coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Mark Daigneault. His first coaching job was with the Jesuit University Holy Cross. And what are Holy Cross's nickname? The Crusaders. Remember, in Gematria and the base ciphers, Knights Templar equates to 173. Today is the 173rd day of the year. With numerology, Knights Templar equals 65, like Oklahoma City equals 65. And you know how many wins the Pacers are going to be stuck on for the year? 65. And remember who died right before the Eastern Conference Finals tipped off? Jim Irsay, the Indianapolis Colts owner, died at 65. And these finals began on 6/5. And what day did the Pacers get their 65th win of the season? They got it on Juneteenth, which began in 1865. But again, Knights Templar equals 173. Today's the 173rd day of the year. With numerology, it equals 65. And when you run it in reverse, Knights Templar equals 79. Like this is the 79th season. And again, the Sonics won it in 79. Also noteworthy, Oklahoma is the 46th state. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the star for the Thunder and likely the MVP for the finals, this is his 46th playoff game. And you know who the 46th president was? Joe Biden, who was elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, the nation's second Catholic president. When Catholic equals 46. Remember where he fits in with the Oklahoma City bombing. The nation passed the first counterterrorism legislation ever and it was Joe Biden's bill, and it passed on Governor Keating's birthday, the governor of Oklahoma, 68 days before Oklahoma City blew up when terror equals 68, like CIA. Also like basketball and championship. R.I.P. to Dikembe Mutombo, who died exactly 68 weeks after the Nuggets won their first championship. But yeah, this is another example of just, again, I mean, so many great examples in this series, how they paid tribute to news and history. Again, paid tribute to OKC. Again, the playoffs this year began on April 19th. First game of the NBA playoffs was on April 19th, the anniversary of the bombing. Again, paying tribute to Juneteenth in 1865. And now what they got going on with the new Crusades in Iran. Synced up with Hegseth, Mr. Templar tattoos. But yeah, this is what we educate about every year. I mean, I've been here for over a decade now, calling out futures left and right. We weren't quite right in both conferences. My preseason pick was the Thunder to face Boston, and I thought I was going to get it right because I said look for Boston to start the year 19-5 on Larry Bird's birthday. They did start the year 19-5 on Larry Bird's birthday. Boston Celtics equals 195, and if they do go to another finals and win, they are going to be 19-5. But you know where Boston Larry Legend is from? He's from Indiana. And in hindsight, it's like, okay, that's why they did that. The tribute through Boston was really for Larry Bird in Indiana. And by the way, Larry Joe Bird, his full name equates to 79, like the 79th season. He's connected. He's coached the Pacers, and he's part of their ownership. So yeah, that's the reason they put the Pacers in the scripted finals, and also how they could pay tribute to McVay. Oh, and here's one of my favorite things.
Y'all hear this?
Here's the other awesome tribute. Halliburton, the oil company, was founded in Oklahoma, and the star player of the Pacers, Halliburton, went out with a fake injury today, 113 days after the birthday in the 113 league. Today is 143 days after Dick Cheney's 84th birthday. Dick Cheney, of course, is Mr. Halliburton. Today, the Pacers are picking up their 143rd postseason loss. And with regards to Dick Cheney being 84 years old, Indiana Pacers equals 84. This Game 7 is the 84th game of this year's NBA playoffs. And, of course, Sunday equals 84. And you know who's getting their 84th win of the year? Oklahoma City, picking up the 84th win of the year. Chet Holmgren on the line, also Jesuit educated with Gonzaga. But yeah, the coach of the Thunder, Mark Daigneault, first coaching job, Jesuit Holy Cross, the Crusaders. And if you haven't been watching my news videos, again, I showed you how all this stuff has to do with the Templars. And by the way, just the way they sync it up, right? The Iranian Revolution was in 79, the year the Sonics won it. Trump just turned 79 in the middle of the NBA Finals. And, now this right here. So, yeah, learn Gematria, learn history, and you'll see the rig scripts as well as we do. You might even see it better if you can learn it better. But, yeah, what we've done...
You already said you can learn the script.
Unprecedented. And I could just say I, but the reason I say we is because there are smart minds in the community who help out with thoughts and ideas.
Yup. Trending live. Yeah, I'm about to get off.
We is because there are smart minds in the community who help out with thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Yeah, Thunder was our preseason pick. And I showed you guys also how the opening night game, let me remind you what happened opening night of the NBA season.
Hey, Abundance, my teacher picked it in the beginning. That's what I'm saying. He's so good. He can do the numbers. He do baseball. See what I'm doing? No, he can break the numbers down and get that son of a gun. Yeah, it be times he lose as well, but we winning more than we losing.
Who help out with thoughts and ideas. Yeah, Thunder was our preseason pick. And I showed you guys also how the opening night game, let me remind you what happened opening night of the NBA season. The Lakers won their opener with LeBron Raymond James, who equals 79 home losses with the Lakers in that game. And remember who was watching? Remember, it was LeBron and his son Bronny, who was in attendance, the last father-son duo in sports, the Griffeys, who played in Seattle. And remember, at the end of that game, it was right before the World Series began, where the Dodgers went on to win it, who we also had to win the World Series in spring training.
Much love, y'all.
But they announced the death of Fernando Valenzuela, who pitched in the last Dodgers series versus the Yankees, and then the next day it was Rudy May, who pitched against Fernando Valenzuela in that World Series with back-to-back deaths right before it begins. Nobody blinks an eye. But Fernando Valenzuela equates to 79, like Cy Young, announced dead the night of the opener. And again, this stuff's just par for the course. Stuff goes on all the time. Ritual sacrifices for the games, like Jim Irsay, right before Pacers Knicks tipped off. And don't forget Dick Barnett, who was from Indiana and played for the Celtics, or not the Celtics, but the Knicks. He died right before the Knicks-Pacers series, and Indiana equals 34. That series ended 34 days after his death. Died at 88, went to Fordham, the 88 university like Trump, Jesuit school. Knicks closed out their first series, their 88th game of the year, and then lost to the Pacers. And don't forget Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp going to prison. Sean Kemp played for Seattle, who are now the Thunder, and Sean Kemp's also from Indiana. And you might recall he had the same 141 number ritual as Dick Barnett, whose name equals 141. The Pacers and Knicks series began on the 141st day of the year. But yeah, Kemp's a different type of sacrifice. He doesn't die, but he goes to prison. Or at least so we're told, and Dick Barnett's in the grave, along with Jim Irsay.
Yeah, man, that'd be crazy. Different
what's his name for the
sacrifices.
Sonics? Slick Watts. He died during the season. One of the many foreshadowings that the Thunder would be here. And now take it, just like the Sonics did in '79. So, again, you guys, you learn this Gematria thing. You learn history. You pay attention. You see what's really going on. And if you're new here, look up the song Gematria, the Killing Name, and also look up the song Murder by Numbers by the Police. Got Netflix, that copycat movie, they even played the song Murder by Numbers right in it. It's about a serial killer.
Listen again, y'all. He telling y'all what to look for. Listen.
Again, you guys, you learn this Gematria thing. You learn history. You pay attention. You see what's really going on. And if you're new here, look up the song Gematria, the Killing Name, and also look up the song Murder by Numbers by the Police. Got Netflix.
I got you, Abundance.
You learn history. You pay attention. You see what's really going on. And if you're new here, look up the song Gematria, the Killing Name, and also look up the song Murder by Numbers by the Police. Got Netflix, that copycat movie, they even played the song Murder by Numbers right in it. It's about a serial killer. Till next time, True Seeker.
POV, you just learned how to tell if your olive oil is
Man, hey, look, y'all. I used to be up all night watching videos. He had so many videos.
Telling me I'm aging and
I used to be up all night, like, what? I couldn't believe it. Then when I started learning, I'm like, wow. You can see what's going on in the world. See, Abundance, you are already there, bro. Once you look at this Gematria, you're going to be like, what? But you are already there, bro. I'm telling you, you're already there. The numbers just help me decode shit. So people think I'm a lotteries guy because I'm breaking. No, I study Gematria. I don't talk about life like that because it'd be kind of scaring people. So I just started doing the lottery, my friends. I'm not no lottery guy. No, I study what's going on in the real world, my friends. They speaking the code with these numbers, y'all. When I was showing y'all this, I don't believe in all the calories. I mean, all that when they be talking about the protein and all that. No, I can see how they got some of the numbers, how they matched the numbers up to tell a story. That's why I say when we be working out, when we be saying, man, we got to eat all this, none of us know doctors. I told y'all notice when we start working out, now we all doctors. Y'all notice now we all doctors. Now we know how to eat proper. Now we trying to tell other folks what to do. We don't know what's going on in our body. See, I just know, I told you I eat the same shit every day, my friend. I just go off how I'm feeling, my friend. But you been hearing people say, man, I eat plenty of such and such. I eat such and such. We don't know how much we really taking in our body, y'all, for real, for real. Y'all get where I'm coming from? That's why I say numbers is a mud discipline. That's why I say all them big time weightlifters, not saying they don't know what they talking about, but some of the shit they be saying, it be kind of funny to me. I told you, I might be the only one that work out that don't drink water like that. I'm the only one on YouTube, y'all, that don't drink water like everybody that work out. See, Gematria let me know what's really going on with water, y'all. But I would never tell y'all to stop drinking water. I'm just telling y'all see me work out. I don't drink water like that. I may sip some water every blue moon, a lot of juice, cranberry juice, a lot of juice, but it's water inside the juice. I've been working out for about a year and 3 months. I'm not dehydrated. So something is wrong with what they lied to y'all when they say you're supposed to drink this amount of water. They lied to us about that. See, I know what water would do to you, y'all. A lot of y'all sick because of water. Too much moisture will cause mold, y'all. And then they got the nerve to tell us we made 70% of water. They lied to us about everything, y'all. It's up to y'all to find out the truth. Your body is your temple, y'all. Everybody's body different, y'all. What works for me might not work for you. That's why I be confused with these personal trainers. They don't know what's going on. I told you once they get on a certain level, they get big. Now they know all this and that, my friends. This is what I did to get it. No, that's how your body, everybody's body different. We all have numbers in our body, y'all. My body can't take what your body can take. I'm telling y'all what's going on. It's all about the numbers. When I do my exercise, I do numbers, y'all. I play games, 15 down to 1, 1 up to 15. I know what I'm doing, y'all. It's not about me doing 1,000 reps. No, and I gotta make sure every rep count, y'all. I have to make sure every rep count. See, I'm a numbers guy. Like when I do push-ups, when I get to 100, I can feel a certain burn. So if I've been doing this for 2 or 3 months, when I do get to 100, I don't feel that same burn. Now I feel that burn when I get to 150. See, that's how I know when I'm doing progress, my friends. I don't have to look at my arm to see if my muscles getting big. I'm looking at a progress. If I couldn't do 50 and then next week I did 60 and 70, that means it's a progress, y'all. That's how I look at my body. I feel burn. When I be working out, I be like, damn, y'all, why my arms burning early? Y'all know why? Because I didn't let my arms really heal. I'm seasoned with this shit, y'all. I'm looking the way I'm looking because I'm seasoned, my friend. I know what time it is with my body, my friend. Recovery is very important. I had to learn this, y'all. So when I be working out, yeah, I know we be saying, no, you got to get through the pain. Sometimes it's pain and sometimes you can hurt yourself, my friend. Again, we are not doctors, y'all. So sometimes we be talking, no, man, we got to fight through this pain. Some of us be hurting ourselves, y'all. And we not knowing this shit. I'm going to keep it real, y'all. That's why I say I'm my own trainer. I know my body, my friends, and I know me. It's times when it's telling me, nah, bro, like right now, my elbow don't hurt right now, but it feel funny like, nah, bro, you was doing pull-ups and dips. You have to let that joker just rest a little bit, bro. It's the type of pain where abundance, you was talking about this yesterday, bro. You was like when you was working, you felt something, but you just had to push through it. And then you felt that. That's how it is with my arm. I don't feel no pain, but I know if I try to do something, I'm just overdoing it. You get where I'm coming from? Hell yeah, I want to do some push-ups right now. I can do some sit-ups. Instead of me working my arm, I'm going to do some sit-ups. That's what I'm going to do. And some leg work. That's what I'm going to do. But the numbers tell me everything about my body, y'all. Yeah, I'm looking at my body. Yeah, it's cool. But the numbers telling me everything. Numbers telling me everything, y'all. Once I do push-ups, get to 100, I don't see no struggle. I already know when I'm about to struggle. When I do the 20 down to 1 or the 15 down to 1 or going up, I know when it's going to get challenging, y'all. That's why I do it. That's why I don't take breaks. That's why I be challenging myself. I'm just challenging myself, my friends. So I know why I be hurting, why I be in like kind of pain, because I just be working hard, y'all. So it's like every day I work out, I go to failure every day. I don't know if that's bad or good. I just go all out. Every time I'm working out, I'm just going out that day. I'm going to go out. I'm going to try to do more than what I normally going to do. Like yesterday, the decline. I normally do about 200, and then it'd be real tight. I did 300 declines yesterday. Then I could have went some more. That's the crazy part. See, my goal, there go that word try. Come on, D-Wiz, I don't have to say that. I'm going to do 500 declines. And then eventually I'm going to do 1,000. But I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna do 500 D. Matter of fact, I should do that Monday. I should test myself Monday. 500 declines Monday. Yeah, I'm gonna test myself. We gonna do that 500. Yeah, I'm gonna test myself. We letting that body recover today and tomorrow. I'm gonna do that 500 declines. We gonna see where I'm at. All right, y'all. Much love, y'all. Much love, y'all. Much love to everybody. Let me see pro this video. Yeah, much love to everybody, y'all. So you'll know what it. We'll go here. You can look at this video. Yeah, much love, y'all. Much love. Short day today. I only have 3 heads to cut today. Not a busy day today. My grass high though. Look. Hey, this look. See, I can tell when this cat must got somebody pregnant. You know, Miss Cheryl, this cat must got somebody pregnant. Little homie just sitting here and he been eating. I can tell what's going on. Like last time I told you that. Matter of fact, Miss Cheryl, look at this. If I could find it. If I could find it, Miss Cheryl. Hold on, Miss Cheryl. We having so much on my phone. So look, y'all. This the cat next door. Miss Cheryl, this the cat next door. This little homie. This my little cat right here. So you think this his son? I told y'all, look. I told y'all the time when I saw him have sex with that cat. She was pregnant, and then she had them kittens though. So that's his cat. That's him, y'all. Cause the other cat he be fighting look just like him as well too. Cause I thought they were about to fight. Is that they the same? They the same, Miss Cheryl? This little homie. That's his son. That's his son, y'all. But he be next door. That's his son. All right, y'all. Much love to y'all. Much love, everybody. That's little homie's son. Yeah, that's your son, little homie. You asleep, little nigga? Maybe you waking up the irony. All right, y'all. Much love. Much love, y'all.